Hey, I'm Pastor Shane. Welcome to a new episode of Family Foundations. Today, we have some special guests with us, Mark and Carly Wiedrich. And we're going to chat with them today about what it maybe looks like to be a missionally minded family. Let's get going. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching another episode of Family Foundations. I'm Pastor Shane. Today, I'm going to be interviewing some good friends of mine, Mark and Carly Wiedrich. They're currently serving with YWAM in England. As long as I've known Mark and Carly, they've been a family that has been very missional focused, whether it's through camp ministry, working in Christian higher ed, or doing overseas missions work like what they're doing now. So today we want to have a conversation with them about what it means to be a mission-minded family and how maybe they would want to encourage us today to have our kids learn to be a bit more missional. So, Mark, Carly, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having us. We're glad to do it.
Great. Well, firstly, just tell us what you're doing with YWAM in England.
So we are serving currently with Mission Adventures, primarily working with youth groups to train them and send them on short-term missions during school breaks. And then throughout the year, also working with college and youth groups in training events.
Okay, so that sounds pretty busy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to do this all while raising 3 boys as well.
Yes.
So one of the things I actually saw with your newsletter here that you guys just sent out, you're talking about how you're trying to encourage your boys to get involved, even on the base there, helping and volunteering and things like that. So trying to, figure out how do we teach our kids to live missionally. So what have you guys been doing specifically to try to teach or encourage your kids to be missional minded?
Well, we actually asked our boys because we wanted to see what their thoughts were of what we've taught them. And the first thing they brought up was that they can trust God. We've taught them that they can trust God with big things and little things. We've done this by inviting them into the process of seeking God when we have to do decisions as a family, big decisions, little decisions. They have a voice. They pray with us to receive guidance from God, just like we do about our family or our ministry.
We also, when we did our YWAM discipleship training school and outreach, there was a kind of a phrase that we picked up there, that there's no junior Holy Spirit. They have the same one we all do, and as kids, and so they can have a calling. They have the same power inside of them and leading that we can get, and so that's important for them to understand. And then also, it's not just about formal service as we would typically know it, but it's just having that mindset of missions, and hopefully that kind of just affects our general way of life.
Man, that's great stuff right there. Just even knowing that for you guys trying to instill into your kids that what you guys are doing as a family, it's not just about what you guys are doing. Your kids have all the ability, because the Spirit is also working in them, to live missionally. That's great. So what have been maybe some of the challenges then as a parent that you've faced in trying to encourage your kids to be missional?
Well, some of the challenges aren't real profound. I mean, there's just normal kid behavior stuff or attitudes, regardless of age. I mean, we all know that's there. Still learning to put God first and above themselves, and people ahead of themselves, and trying to teach that. But it's not like we have arrived at that either. But also another challenge can be us not always thinking to include them, because things can get done more easily or more quickly doing it on our own, but that doesn't help them. And so us needing to be sometimes more consistent in what we model and teach as well.
It's also hard sometimes when the things that we've come up with to do maybe aren't fun or feel good things. And so it's hard to maybe get them going and get them excited to do things that aren't really fun to do. Also, it can be hard, especially if you have kids of a big variety of ages and abilities, to find something that you can do as a family that includes everybody. We, for example, have one child with special needs. And so it doesn't exclude us from being mission-minded and do missional things, but it does just create different challenges that we need to overcome.
Right. There's challenges are going to come in all shapes and sizes, right? But, ultimately, it sounds like you guys are not only cognitive of those, but you're intentional at trying to really work on those challenges, but still present opportunities for your kids to be missional minded, even though there are challenges. So that's awesome. So here we are, what advice then as a parent would you have for other parents that are seeking to have their families maybe be more missionally minded?
I would say the big thing is look for ways that you can serve as a family. Don't just look for opportunities that only fit mom or dad or only fit a place where you can drop off your kids. Look for places that you can serve together. If it's only ever mom and dad, the kids won't feel a part of it, they won't own it, and they won't learn from it. Also, we found is important is to do one-on-ones with the kids while we serve just dad in one or mom in one. And that's a great opportunity. I would say the big thing, I think, is let them see you model it a lot. You can't just do it here, there on special occasions. It needs to be a central part of your life so that they can really believe that it should be a central part of theirs.
Some other things are taking time to debrief after whatever it is you've done together, and making sure that everyone feels safe to do so, sharing their highs and lows, their frustrations, the stuff that excited them is important to do together. And then, again, finding what interests them and as gets them excited is not always easy, but if we can that can be part of the learning process. So there is stuff that's hard that Carly mentioned earlier, but also what does excite them? What can we do to serve in those areas? And then finally is just praying as a family, fasting as a family, if when it's time for that, and then giving sacrificially, not necessarily money, but also could be just things that we currently own that others don't, that we share or give, or time, or whatever the case may be.
Even just as you guys are talking, I just kind of get these recurring thoughts of kind of the advice from Moses in Deuteronomy chapter 6, the intentionality of actually teaching and instructing your kids to live, not only missionally, but to know God, to follow him and be disciples of all nations. So what great advice for us today. I just want to thank you guys so much for your time today and being willing to just give us a little bit of maybe knowledge from your experience as you guys are trying to continue to live as a mission-minded family. So thanks for being with me today.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks again.
That was a great interview. Thanks so much, Mark and Carly, for your time. You see, not every family is called to missions work, but as families who are learning to be disciples of Christ, we are called to be missional. See, as disciples of Christ, we need to adopt a missional lifestyle. And I'm sure if we look hard enough, we'll see opportunities, whether they're in our workplace, our families, our community, our schools, our sports teams, or even just with our next door neighbors, to live in front of them and proclaim Jesus. I want to encourage you parents today, with all the challenges that comes from being a mission-minded family, to press on through the difficulties and to teach your kids what it means to look like and truly love your neighbor. Remember, God's intention for the church is to use it to make his name known to this world. Your kids are every bit as much a part of the church as you or I. So let's start living as mission-minded families. As usual, here are a few questions for you to ponder. If you have any thoughts, questions, or comments, feel free to send me an email. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.